Shaheed, firstly, thank you so much for coming on board to Pathway Spotlight.
Thank you
for your time.
Thank you. No
as you know, this is a section where we get to know a little bit about yourself, your journey, your involvement with Pathway, and just generally about the outlook going forward.
Sure.
So just to start off from the start, you joined, I believe, 2008, 2009.
Yeah, that's correct.
And just share that with us in terms of.
Okay, I think initially, I was with Pathway starting off, on a part-time basis, and obviously the company being relatively small compared to what it is now.
So you were a student?
I was finishing off university, I think second or third year.
How have you as a person, as a leader, as a manager developed, and how do you sort of motivate and inspire how do you inspire your staff, and just talk us about your thoughts?
Yeah, sure. In terms of having a successful organisation, there's no doubt the staff drive the success. There's no doubt about that. You talk about entrepreneurship, there's certain buzzwords that sort of spring to mind. Innovate, thinking outside the box, empowerment. These are things that I've learnt over my 4 or 5 years of being a manager, where how do you get the best out of people? So it's not necessarily about a dictatorship type of approach, which potentially 5 years ago I may have been sort of more prone to. It's now about getting people to think outside the box. How can you better yourself? Don't always be satisfied with what the level you are producing at.
Keep pushing yourself.
Keep pushing yourself. And I think the fact that we work in the sector that we do is a bigger reason why we have to have that mentality. As I say, we're never in a sector that we're doing the same thing year in, year out. You've got to be on top of the game. You've got to be in front of your competitors. As I say, one of those things is innovate. One of those is empowerment. Different coaching methods. What are your best? Everybody sort of is receptive to different sort of methods of teaching, of learning. However, a lot of it is about how can you think outside the box? What can you do better to improve yourselves? And then really in line that falls, and that shows the success that the company then drives towards.
Okay. Fantastic. I mean, obviously, we're touching briefly on the year as well.
Sure.
I mentioned the audit. You briefly mentioned Ofsted as well, and I've had a conversation with Saj about the Ofsted.
Sure.
But share your thoughts in terms of how the team sort of gelled together and got together in terms of overcoming some of these obstacles and these sort of pinch points or tough.
Firstly, I've never worked anywhere else. This has always been my only job, so I can't sort of reflect on other companies, how I've seen other people, but you get a lot of people here, especially at Pathway, who really promote the culture. They promote the team spirit. Ofsted came in, we got a call, as you know, we only have a few days really to prepare. You're fighting against the clock. And without that motivation, without that communication, without that team bonding, that teamwork, you're not going to survive. With Ofsted, yes, as I say, you can never prepare. We got a grade 3 last year. We weren't necessarily expecting it to come so soon, but it did. The fact that we achieved a grade 2, fantastic, marvelous, but it just shows it's because of the people we have here.
It's a team as a whole.
Definitely.
Team as a whole. Shaheed, obviously 2016, now going on to 2017, we're talking about apprenticeship levy. We've got our own sort of apprenticeship funding forum that we've created. We're doing a lot of work in terms of preparing ourselves. You talked about, we are in a privileged position in terms of being a prime, but the whole world is sort of changing, so it's going the other way around now. So we've got to be at the face of the customer service. Your thoughts in terms of that journey for us as a prime and all the other primes that are out there. Just
the apprenticeship levy, again, as you say, a complete reform in terms of what we've been doing for the last few years in terms of the apprenticeship sector. Again, as you've just said, a lot of the focus is now with the employer, that business development, that employer engagement.
It's all about the customer service.
Exactly that. A lot of the control is going to be with the employer, whereas previously it's potentially been more so with ourselves. A big key to that is, as you say, having that customer service face. It's having that brand, being able to go there and being able to represent your company, being able to advertise yourselves in that small time window that you have, and being able to sell yourself to those employers to say, yes, we are the provider that you want to be working with.
We're the go-to organisation.
We are, definitely. A lot of hard work's gone into that in terms of the networking side of things, in terms of a lot of the stuff that yourself predominantly have been working on within the last year. Can we do it? Yes, we definitely can. As I say, we have to survive. We have to, we're in a sector where the changes will constantly keep happening. We are trying to prep ourselves as the apprenticeship levy book that was created, I think, a couple of months ago that we all worked towards. There's a lot of, in terms of social media, in terms of already with our partners, we've started a lot of the ball rolling in terms of working parties, etc. Yes, 4 or 5 months away still, but we have to prepare ourselves. I think we've definitely got the resources to do it. We've definitely got the staff. We've got the knowledge. We've got the experience. Let's bring it on, and hopefully we can do well.
Just to touch on that, I mean, obviously we were at the World of Learning conference as well.
Sure.
We're working with sort of now learning and development departments. We're also working with finance directors as well, in terms of some of the ones that are part of that are going to be part of the
influential
as you said, the thought leaders and influencers
exactly
as well. So there is some work that we're doing. Obviously, there's still a few months away, but there's a lot of work, as you said. Your team and the rest of there's a SMT have been involved with. So just appreciate that as well. Sure. In terms of ESF, the whole sort of landscape, in terms of, obviously, this year we're out of Europe now. A lot of our funding has been from the European Social Fund. Prior to that, you mentioned the fact that all these primes that we're working with, we've been known as an organisation that delivers in terms of European Social Fund, in terms of workplace learning activity, NVQs in whatever form, the whole what we call skills support for the workforce, skills support for the unemployed, skills support for the redundancy, skills support for the people who are on work program, and all of that sort of landscape, all of that spectrum, that's now back on the scene. We've been awarded a number of contracts that we're looking at project managing. So your hat now in terms of apprenticeship and the whole sort of the student loan market now has to sort of start switching over to the ESF activity. Is that a challenge that you're sort of looking forward to? Just share your thoughts in terms of that.
It's been definitely long-awaited. There's been a lot of funding constraints, especially over the last 12 to 24 months. But it's something that we do well. We had a good luck of ESF sort of the year before last.
Do you want to touch on that in terms of the contracts that we deliver? Contracts you do.
We worked with, I think, 16 different primes at the time in terms of delivering ESF, SSW qualifications, etc. That was nationwide. So a lot of our work in the last 12 months has most certainly sort of been West Midlands based, apart from working with partners out on the field delivering across the nation. But as you said, it's something that really we've done very well over the years in terms of managing associates, managing partners, working from a business development perspective, in terms of marketing, which again we've always been very strong at, all the way through to delivering the qualifications right to the end. In terms of myself, yes, definitely looking forward to it. Apart from the obvious reasons in terms of financially, there's a lot out there to learn as well as to experience and to gain as well. As I said, there's been a lot of funding constraints. We've been waiting a number of months. It's something that we do well. It's something that definitely we will benefit from. And from the perspective of Pathway, it increases your package in terms of what you have to offer. So this is where, again, we can gain more business on the apprenticeship front, on the 24+ front,
It's all sort of joined up in terms of layer funding.
Exactly that. It's layer of funding. You're able to, when you have these sort of funding streams available to you, you feel that you're able to gain and to bring in more customers, more clients.
Add value to the customer as well. So, you start off possibly with...
And I think it adds to that journey whereby you've got learners' journeys where we can associate them with different funding streams and progress them through different levels, through levels of employment, especially if we're working with those from unemployed. It ties in with our work program, it ties in with working sort of the redundancy packages, contracts that we have, etc. Right. So it's about being able to contribute to individuals and use these layers of funding to be able to upskill and progress them in order to achieve and build other career aspirations, etc.
Fantastic. Shai, just touching up on some of the qualifications or some of the areas that you have delivered before in terms of your own project management. I believe you were involved with the English and Maths that we delivered in the East Midlands.
That's correct.
We also delivered some in the South as well. In the I think with Chesterfield, Chichester College. Just touch on some of the opportunities. Manchester College, Stoke-on-Trent. I'm probably naming them all.
Yeah, but I think it's as you say. I think it was 16, if I'm correct. And as I say, it all, if not from a company perspective, personally, as I say, when you're working with such different types of people within the same industry, from different backgrounds, it all contributes to your own personal sort of, your personal incentives in terms of being able to spread your wings, so to say. So we talk about us being a sub, we talk about us being on the other side as a prime. These, working with a larger number of partners is what contributes. It opens your eyes. It's sort of...
It's constant learning.
It's definitely, it's constant
learning. By
learning.
osmosis or, just
exactly that. And I think a lot of it is, and I think a big pleasure of it is being able to then pass that information on to others, to transgress that onto others. As you say, English and maths, we delivered to over 2,000 learners. We've delivered up north, I think, in the Manchester College area. Again, it was another 250, 300 learners. And again, it's these people that we've worked with in the past then sort of pop back up, and you're able to collaborate further. Definitely. And you're able to collaborate further. You're able to sort of move forward a lot quicker when you've got that experience under your belt. And I think, again, it's about being sort of one of the better ones in the industry. And that definitely sort of... by promoting yourself, promoting your brand, promoting your company, all of that together helps the company as an overall to grow and to move forward.
Yeah, I mean, Shaheed, we've been the go-to organisation a number of times, and you personally have had received calls from primes previously where they've underperformed on a contract.
Yeah.
So when you take on a contract, what sort of things are you looking at in terms of how do you get that contract back into into positive for that prime? What sort of your thought process?
It is something that we've been known for. Yeah. So where primes have contacted us and we've been able to deliver sort of within the 11th hour.
Yeah.
I think when we have had instances, I think the biggest strong point that we have is the network of people we have previously worked with. Yeah. So when you're in that element of project planning, when you're looking at the timescales, when you're looking at the cycle of the project in terms of what you need to deliver, the resources that are required, it's that whole element of project management. Yeah. I think if it wasn't for the history that we had at Pathway in terms of the associates we've worked with, the large people, we know the large sort of type of people, contact base we have with the industry, it'd be very hard to sort of go in at the last minute and turn these contracts around and really come out where you've met all the KPIs, you've really sort of strived through the contract and achieved everything that you wanted to. So it is about the people you know, it's about the knowledge you have, it's about the people that you can approach in terms of being able to work alongside yourselves in order to then meet the requirements of those contracts. Right. And as you say, we've been on a number of occasions the company to go to. And to be honest with you, that again has contributed to the success of Pathway. Yeah. And if it wasn't us being able to turn around those situations, we potentially may not be where we are today, starting from really the very early days.
Okay. Shaheed, thank you for sharing that with us. I want to talk a little bit about, obviously, the landscape at the moment for training providers. We obviously touched on apprenticeship levy, but it's not all about apprenticeship levy. There's a lot of other things as well. Yeah. But life for an apprenticeship training provider, it is pretty tough. Yeah. Obviously, a lot of change. We've all, that's synonymous with every conversation we have, and obviously, where it is. But there is some traineeship funding. There's SLC funding. Yeah. There's pots and pick and pocket. Some funding.
Pockets of funding.
Pockets of funding, as you said. Yeah. So what are the opportunities in terms of the growth cases where people are heading on? Just tell me the mind of an operations or head of operations. Yeah. What are
it's not easy, no doubt. It's not easy. We've been in a position where, again, within a click of a finger, potentially your income is halted for contractual reasons. You may have overspent on your allocation. Yeah. The SFA may have decided there's a restructure, which we currently saw within the advanced learning loans market, whereby there was an element of overspend throughout the whole nation, therefore them having to review their spending. It is very tough. And again, because I manage a lot of partners who have very different backgrounds, have very different mindsets. They don't all have the same mindset. They have different approaches. They specialize in different areas. Yeah. I am able to see how difficult it is out there, and there, as you say, there are opportunities, but it's not always easy to grab onto those opportunities. Yeah. So you've got an apprenticeship, if we just talk about the apprenticeship industry at the moment in terms of funding, yes, you've got changes happening in the next 4 to 5 months. Although we are confident, maybe because of the size of our company, the experience we have, the individuals that this company has, we may sort of have a different mindset whereby, yes, we can achieve what we need to achieve and we will survive. There are others out there who potentially may be looking at maybe calling it a day because they feel that whatever they were good at, they've done for the last 12 months, 24 months, and that's it. They might not be able to adapt to the new changes. Advanced learning loans, again, if you look at ourselves 3 years ago, we struggled. It was a funding stream that we really couldn't take off the floor with. And if you look at us now, we've got a very respectable contract, although it's been done slightly differently, but we've managed to sort of build our name in that area. Traineeships, again, with something that we've been looking at. And a lot of it is in terms of what the focus areas are for the government. So as you say, last year there was a lot of focus on maths and English. Again, within the apprenticeships, yes, we were able to deliver on that. So I think going back to your question in terms of how difficult it is, it's very difficult, but you've really got to have the right mindset. And I think if you can gather the right mindset alongside the right people, I think you've got a good formula there to win. And as I say, if you think that you're in a sector whereby I'm only good at one thing and my vision is very narrow, it's very hard to survive. Whereas I think if you've got a broader sort of approach, I think there's more chance of you being able to sort of excel in this industry.
It's adjusting to where the funding is.
Exactly
it's
that.
adjusting to where the funding is, rather than saying, well, I'm a pigeonholed against, this is all I do.
Exactly.
That's what
and I think 5 years ago, 7 years ago, and you know better, people may have survived. You've got companies out there who were very good at one thing and just constantly sort of worked towards that within a year or two, and that was fine. Unfortunately, in the training sector, it's not about that anymore. It's not about that at all. And you have to follow where the funding goes. And if you're not prepared to do that, I think a lot of it is first mindset before actually being able to operationally achieve anything. And if you're not prepared to do that, then I think the sector may not be for you.
I mean, Shaheed, I want to talk a little bit more on the operational side. I mean, you've made a big investment in terms of the IT systems, Pelcom, and the whole PIC system as well. Obviously technology being something that we as individuals have embraced, but also as an organisation have embraced that. Just tell us a little bit about your investment.
There's a couple of driving forces here. I think one definitely being Ofsted. When they come in, there's a lot more push now in terms of ILT, digitalization, making teaching and learning fun for learners. How can we keep the mind of the learners sort of focused so that they do achieve what they've desired to achieve? And then I think within the culture that we've sort of embraced within Pathway as well, there's the three pillars, the theory that you've introduced: numbers, processes, and the winning mindset. And what we've learned over the years is that data is obviously phenomenal. It's key to a business. If you don't understand your data, it's very hard to improve. Until you're not measuring anything, you can't improve. But going back to sort of ILT, a massive investment in terms of PICS, Pathway Direct, which is our online portal, ICQ, online portfolio. There's 4 or 5 things where we've made heavy investment. The main reason being is that it helps us do our job a lot better. Streamlines our job. It helps the staff. It's easier from a senior management perspective in terms of being able to look at different aspects of the company. What can you improve? Where can we grow? And I think that investment, especially in today's industry, in today's society, is a must. It's seen as an advantage from Ofsted, again, in terms of productivity, efficiency within the business. These things have to be there. It's part and parcel of sort of your day-to-day running of the business. Looking back at it, I don't think we could survive without it now.
I want to ask you a little bit of a curveball question, Shaheed. Will we ever get to a paperless office? That's the thing, isn't it?
I'd like to say so. I'd like to say so, and we are working towards that. Unfortunately, I can't. I'm not too sure on that.
Will we get to a position where spreadsheets are no longer used in any office? Say.
I'll say yes for you, sir, and I'll make you proud one day. I think we'll do that.
So spreadsheets, no. Spreadsheets, no.
Spreadsheets, no.
Paperless, maybe. We are in the government funding sector.
Definitely. No, of course, we have to.
But Shaheed, I just want to say it's been an absolute privilege the fact that you've been part of the team. Yes, it's been 7 or 8 years. Whenever I go and talk to directors of training companies, they always commend yourself in terms of obviously being part of the team. You inspired a lot of the directors that I talk to. I'm talking to directors. They always say, fantastic. This chap has got a sort of immersive knowledge, wealth of knowledge that he not only inspires us with his passion, with his energy, but he backs that up with actually intellect in terms of knowledge and out of the box thinking. And I'll get that directly from directors. So just wanted to give that feedback to yourself as well. So really appreciate that input. Also from my perspective as well, yes, we've grown as a team, but the team has changed in the last few years, and it has been a tough time for all training providers, and you've been able to adjust and adapt accordingly to the needs of the organisation. Yes, there's a multiple of things that we're dealing with. Sometimes it's one project, sometimes it's another. And when we're in the sector, nothing, no 2 days are the same. Everything changes. And again, really admire your ability to adapt and change with that. This is a fantastic opportunity also to try and get, you promised me one thing, but I want to get one more thing out of you. And this is an opportunity where I want to try and get that on camera.
Sure.
First thing is just to remind yourself and the viewers out there, you've said no more spreadsheets.
Yeah.
Second thing is LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Waiting for that first LinkedIn post or a LinkedIn post that's gonna get.
It was a promise. Yeah. It was a promise. I think you'll get a good Christmas present then.
Okay, fantastic. So I'll probably be in Saudi Arabia, but I'll look forward to that.
No worries.
But I just want to thank you for your time. Really, thank you for your contribution to Pathway. It is a family. It is team. It is a team Pathway, but it's family. So really, you're a member of the family. You are a member of the team. And really appreciate all your support.
Thanks,
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shaheed.